Egypt plans for war and Assad poisoned? It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV for Thursday, January 9th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for this Thursday. Item number 5 today is Syria. Who gets the oil? That's a question that's raised its head again after the fall of Assad. This is reigniting plans west and east to control Syria's oil resources. The areas in gray shaded there on the map behind me, the main oil fields in Syria, most of them, the most productive ones in the eastern part of the country under the control of Kurdish forces. But Syria's strategic position plays a pivotal role in both Russian and Chinese plans, including Russia's Shia crescent, extending from Lebanon, predominantly Shia, to the Shia kingdom, theocracy, I should say, of Iran. Syria was controlled by the Alawites, Bashar al-Assad, even though it's majority Sunni. The Alawites, a sect of Shia Islam. Now the main part of the country, Damascus included, under the control of the Sunni rebel group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. The United States, Turkey, other players positioning themselves to rebuild Syria's energy infrastructure. The question is, who's got the authority to make these deals? Plans in the U.S. were drawn up after the civil war broke out in Syria back in 2011, but it was assumed back then that Bashar al-Assad would be driven from power within a matter of weeks, if not months, and that didn't happen. So these plans were put on the shelf. Now they're being dusted off again, and because he survived those first few months of the rebellion in 2011, Assad, rather than making a deal with the U.S., Saudi, Qatar alliance, decided to go with the Russia plan, which was a pipeline from Iran through Iraq to Syria and then on to customers in Europe. That for Russia, there are other benefits to keeping control over Syria. Russia has mainly pulled out of Syria at this point. The warm water port on the Mediterranean, very important to Russia, not just for military adventures, but also for economic opportunities, sending energy resources onto hungry markets in Europe. But the fall of Assad denies Russia these benefits, and the United States understands the key role that Syria plays logistically for Russia, but also for China's Belt and Road Initiative. Now, part of this land bridge that Iran wanted to create has now been severed. This was a land route from Iran across Iraq and through Syria to supply its proxies in Lebanon, Hezbollah. This has been severed now. That land bridge was very close to being operational when Assad was removed, and that's probably not coincidental. It would have allowed Russia as well to exponentially increase weapons delivery into southern Lebanon and the Golan Heights area of Syria, which would have allowed then Iran's proxies to strike at Israel. Again, this now up in the air after the fall of Assad. This is why, and this, of course, is why the United States has troops still in Syria, mainly the control of those oil resources, but also to sever that Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon crescent that Russia spent years cultivating. The question is whether the new U.S. base right on the border with Turkey, in the middle of the Kurdish area there, will bring the United States into direct conflict with Turkey, as Turkey's plans do not include Kurds remaining in Syria for very much longer. Topic number 4, Assad, as long as we're speaking of Syria. Was the former leader of Syria poisoned recently in Moscow? This report coming out just a few days ago in via a Russian telegram channel called General SVR, which says it's run by former and current members of the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, although it has publicized rather spectacular and unsubstantiated reports about the health of Vladimir Putin over the past few years. In a post written in Russian and English on Tuesday, last Tuesday that is, it said there's every reason to believe that an assassination attempt was made on Assad, adding that he had complained to his security team about feeling unwell, having trouble breathing, and asking for medical help. British tabloid newspapers, Newsweek, picking up on the story, but again, unverified at this point. Although it is not outside the realm of possibility now that Assad's usefulness to Russia has reached an end. Topic number 3, Israel. Egypt is preparing for war, reportedly. The Jewish press reporting that the Israeli Defense Establishment is noticed military activity in central Sinai. This includes logistical preparations, constructing concrete barricades that are intended to block Israeli armored vehicles. Officials in Jerusalem say they're concerned over this military buildup, including the construction of tunnels and bridges across the Suez Canal, which would allow for Egypt to very quickly move military hardware and troops into the Sinai Peninsula and then into the Negev. This happened last in 1973, not coincidentally on October 7th, 1973, the start of the Yom Kippur War, which very nearly ended the nation of Israel. Meanwhile, the Biden administration shifting more than $100 million in military aid from Egypt and Israel to Lebanon, trying to bolster the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hezbollah by sending $95 million in military assistance intended for Egypt and about $7.5 million for Israel to the government of Lebanon. This is intended to finance the army of Lebanon, which has been outfunded by Hezbollah. Hezbollah with Iranian support, basically better equipped, better funded than the Lebanese military, which was supposed to keep Hezbollah away from Israel's northern border. The hope of the Biden administration is that by sending $100 million to Lebanon, that will help the Lebanese army actually enforce the peace. Item number 2, green dreams. Not climate so much as just, cash. A government-funded carbon capture program in central Illinois, the largest demonstration of its kind in the United States, captured only a small percentage of its carbon dioxide emissions. This is at the Archer Daniels Midland plant in Decatur, where ADM produces ethanol. They received $281 million from the EPA to capture carbon emissions and store them deep underground. It works like this. The plant turns corn into ethanol, and it takes the emissions coming out of the plant, sends them into a pipeline, then it's injected into a sandstone formation deep underground to force more oil out of wells that are nearly depleted. This is called enhanced oil recovery. The thing is, for that $281 million, according to a report, they only managed to capture between 10 and 12% of their emissions. Not very efficient, but apparently was so attractive that there are 130 more applications to drill similar wells around the country. Coming up, drinking and driving don't mix. You know this, but maybe not for the reason you think. That's next on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now you can help the Skywatch TV ministry continue to broadcast the gospel of Jesus Christ to the four corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this incredible new work when you order the Destination Earth Ultra Collection. This incredible collection not only includes the brand new book Destination Earth, Ancient Aliens, the Ancient of Days, and the ancient plot to hybridize humanity that reveals for the first time ever Christ's own words that refute the alien God interpretation, who and what aliens originally were according to the Bible, how they fit into the Antichrist's agenda, and more. But you'll also receive the documentary film, The Great Delusion, the second coming of Earth's oldest enemy, that exposes why the Vatican is in possession of a telescope named Lucifer, why the ancient and mysterious civilization known as the Anasazi suddenly disappeared from historic record, how alien abductions might be connected with Chapter 6 of the Book of Genesis, and so much more, featuring legendary interviews with Dr. Chuck Missler, L.A. Marzulli, Dr. Thomas Horn, Nick Pope, and more. But that's not all. You'll also receive the best-selling book, Encounters, Extraordinary Accounts of Angelic Intervention and What the Bible Actually Says About God's Messengers by Allie Anderson and Donna Howell. This paradigm-shattering work details true accounts of angelic intervention as told by those who have experienced them. It reveals how misconceptions regarding angels came to be and how the early church unintentionally propagated the myth that these beings are weak. and frameworks the fierce capacity of angels' powers, including their strength in warfare, ability to fly, and how they manipulate earthly elements to carry out God's will, and more. All of these items hold a retail value of over $65. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. Support the ministry of Skywatch TV today. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Destination Earth Ultra Collection right now.
Item number 1 today, yes, don't drink and drive. It leads to bad decisions. A Canadian man called the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to report a driver that he suspected of being drunk. Here's bullet point of what happened. The driver saw a car swerving, so he called the police on Vancouver Island. Driver forces the other driver, driving unsafely, to the side of the road to await the arrival of the police. Turns out the other driver isn't drunk, he's just not very good at driving at night. However, according to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, quote, when officers arrived, they smelled alcohol on the breath of the second driver, the one who called the police, and administered a roadside alcohol screening test, which the driver failed, end quote. And the driver who had called to report the other driver was charged with DUI. Now, in a sense, he did the right thing by reporting a driver driving unsafely. Just don't call the police if you are so drunk they can smell the alcohol on your breath. Better yet, if you're that drunk, just don't get behind the wheel. This week on Skywatch TV, the main program, we are talking about the new book that I was honored to co-author with Donna Howell and Allie Anderson, Destination Earth. It's about the UFO, UAP, alien abduction phenomenon. This week we addressed the question that Donna addressed in the book, is Jesus an alien? There are people who believe this, seriously. So worth addressing the question, especially because there are frankly more people out there who believe we're being visited by extraterrestrials than believe in God as he has revealed himself in the Bible. That is the truth. So it is a question worth addressing, and you can watch the program right now at skywatchtv.com. All of our video content is right there at the website. You can also catch it right now over the air, our broadcast schedule, posted skywatchtv.com/channels. If you got our set-top box, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Fire Stick, Smart TV with Roku or Fire TV, please add the Skywatch TV channel. You can watch all of our video content on the big screen that way. It's available on the internet, youtube.com/@Skywatch Television, rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or our free mobile app brings it right into your smartphone or tablet with other features like a Bible module with multiple translations, audio Bible, no less, and other things. It's available for free for iOS, Android, Amazon, Kindle Fire phones and tablets. And we have links to their app stores at our website, skywatchtv.com/app. 5 in 10 online, YouTube at 5 in 10, X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.